Gratitude. Where are we on practicing gratitude right now? Because if there was ever a time in our history when we needed it, I would recommend that this is it. Now, I often, when I'm coaching people, I talk about gratitude and I teach people how to practice it. And that's not because, people don't know how to be grateful, but it's because when we do it in a very specific way, it releases really great chemicals into our bodies and our brains. So how does this all work? Well, what many of us are going through at the moment is fear of the unknown, fear of uncertainty, fear of everything is changed and I feel overwhelmed. And of course, with that comes a lot of time stuck in the middle part of our body here, which is all about fight and flight. Because especially if we're trawling social media all the time, or we've got lots of anxious relatives messaging us all the time, or maybe we're in WhatsApp chat groups and everyone is talking about we know what's going on at the moment, coronavirus crisis, then of course when we finish that, we often feel much more tense, much more anxious. Even if we'd managed to calm ourselves and ground ourselves, now we've had fresh information, whether it's right or wrong, it's kicked off all those chemicals again and we're back stuck in fight flight. And of course that's really unhealthy. It's emotionally unhealthy for us and also physically unhealthy, because nature does not intend the human body and brain to spend all its time stuck here. So it's a bit like, opening the floodgates on a dam when all we needed was a bit of water and now we need to put the dam back. When the floodgates are open here, we're consistently pumped full of, okay, I need to fight this or flee from this, fight this or flee from it. And that's where all the tension comes into our body, all the rigid thinking, all the repetitive thinking. So the best news is one of, and there are many others, simple things we can do is practice gratitude. And what I've come to realize from my amazing clients is that I know what I mean by practice gratitude, but I realize that many of my clients don't exactly see it and feel it in the same way. So I thought I'd walk you through it. What seems to be the problem for many people, and it definitely used to be for me, was that we take gratitude, practicing gratitude, a bit like another task I should be doing. And then it brings, if you check in with yourself and you even say to yourself, this is another task I should be doing, often that immediately kind of pings us into fight, flight and that rigid state. Whereas if we can have a very simple practice and we look for super simple things that genuinely 1,000,000% we do feel grateful for, rather than things that we ought to feel grateful for. And that's the difference. So many of us have been used to being told you should be grateful because when you were a child, you should be thankful because, and so we've experienced thankfulness and gratitude almost as a way of being shamed. So that's why when we try to practice it now, we often go down that loop of, oh, well, I should be very grateful for this, or I should be thankful for this. And that doesn't release the same settling, calming chemicals in our body and brain as finding something that's very authentic to us. That's the difference. It's not a kind of top-down process of I need to find something to be grateful for. It's very much we check in with ourselves. So try it now with me. If you're sitting or standing, put some weight down into the lower part of your body, because whereas this fight flight, the lower part of your body is the calming, grounding, safe energy. So you might want to put your hand down towards your belly, really put some weight down into your feet, And so that you start to connect with that lower part of your body and already start bringing some balance into your panicky survival system. And do it slowly. So it's good to put your hand slowly on your heart so your body can feel it coming. And when it starts getting used to gentle hand on heart as a calming, reassuring thing, your body will already start to feel these lovely, calming, feel-good chemicals. And they will already start to get rid of the other chemicals that otherwise are coursing around our bodies and brains at the moment. So some of you may have heard of adrenaline and cortisol, and they're not bad chemicals, but when they're going all the time around our bodies and brains, they keep on telling us there's an emergency and we need to act in some way. And of course, the emergency is just in our heads. So there is no lion to fight or flee from, but that's what our system gets prepared for just by a thought. So just by thinking something like, I might catch coronavirus, or my mum might, or something like that. That thought generates for our bodies a giant lion in front of us about to rip our heads off. So we reassure our bodies by gently bringing our hands to our hearts, a hand on the belly if that feels okay, or you could try a hand on the top of your head. Again, go really slowly because our body has had different experiences through life, and what my head might love, my belly might not, depending on what it's lived through. So doing that, weight down in our feet, and then so if you're able to do this with me, then do. You can either half close your eyes, or if it feels okay to and it's safe to, then close your eyes and then just gently breathe in through your nose. Just hold it for a moment, gently out through your mouth. Gently your nose. And slowly out through your mouth. And now just tune into yourself, tune into your heart, and you can either say it out loud or you can say it in your head. And now you're reaching for someone or something, a real easy win. So, if you really, really, really love your dog, or you really love your cat, or you've got your children there, and whenever you think of them, it gives you that little boost inside. Or it might be, I don't know, knowing that you do still have some cake left. That would work for me. But it can literally be anything. It can just be the most simple thing. I always go for very simple things. It's no one knows what you're being grateful for, so it doesn't matter. It can be the most simple. I've got my oils in front of me. I often take this moment and just say to myself, I am truly, truly grateful for my precious oils. And because I am, I get this lovely sensation around my heart. So just try that yourself. Just tune into yourself and just try and think of something very simple and say to yourself inside your head, I am truly grateful for, and then say the thing to yourself. And then just breathe normally. And what you should notice is a sensation around your heart. So a kind of glowy, slightly tight feeling. And when you have that, that is the sensation of gratitude in your whole being. And you've just released a beautiful flood of calming anti-anxiety chemicals in your brain and in your body. So let's do it one more time. You can choose the same thing every time to be grateful for, or you can choose something different. It's completely different, completely up to you. You can experiment if you want, find out what will release this amazing feeling in your body and your brain. And if you're there thinking, well, I got nothing, well, that's okay. It's just your system is not used to this process. So just practice it, take a moment, and sometimes thinking of the thing to be grateful for can be harder than being grateful. Especially at the moment where we're feeling scared, many of us. So let's just try it again. So just breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, relax down into your body, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. And now just in your head, or you can say it out loud if it feels better, just say to yourself, I am truly grateful for, and then just tune into your body, and you're just looking to notice a little bit of sensation around your heart area and a kind of relaxation of your body. Okay, so I hope that's been helpful, and just remember that you can do this anytime. So people talk about having gratitude practices, or when should I do this, or should I do it in the moment that something's gone wrong? Well, if you can, that's the hardest time to do it, because when something has gone wrong, that's when we've gone into panic, fight, flight, and it's much harder to do this kind of gratitude practice once we've got tipped over the edge. It's not impossible, it's just you have to start tuning into yourself enough to realise, I have got tipped over the edge. And then this is a great habit to get into. This is something, now my body knows it so well. When I put my hand on my heart, those of you who know me, you'll see me doing this a lot, put my hand on my heart, my body immediately goes, oh, I'm safe. And if my body feels safe, my brain feels safe, and then we're in a good state. And then it's much easier to just tune in, take a breath or two, and then think of that phrase that will instantly release gratitude. And what I was saying with a client I was working with this week was, if you got bitten by a snake and right next to you there was snake antidote for the venom, would you not just grab it and stick it in your leg or wherever? Of course you would. So this is your antidote for anxiety, and the sooner you practice it, the sooner you wake up in the morning. If you forget when you're lying in bed, then do it when you're sitting on the toilet. It doesn't matter where you do it. You don't have to have a sacred place. You don't have to make it a big song and dance. Just any moment, when you're out on your 1 hour exercise every day, just look at a tree and be grateful. If you're fortunate enough to have somewhere to walk and trees, be grateful for a tree if that works for you, or the birds. We don't have to look for the big things. The tiny things work best, and doing it any old time is the most joyous way to do it, because then you just keep your body full of it's okay, we're okay, it's okay, we're okay, because they're the chemicals that you're releasing every time you practice gratitude. And if you've got children, then let them see you doing this. They'll soon be curious if they're younger ones, and actually they will if they're older ones too, because what they'll notice is the stressed energy in you and then the calmer energy in you. Now they might not have words for that, but they'll definitely feel it through their little bodies. So I really hope that's helpful, and look at gratitude as something super simple, super easy. It's available to everyone. There are absolutely no restrictions on gratitude.